Hello and welcome to the Garden of Peace 2025 sponsorship packet. Over the past 12 years, Garden of Peace Inc. has stood as a sanctuary and a catalyst for change, centering the lives and voices of Black, trans, and queer individuals and families. Through art, leadership development, and healing spaces, we have crafted programs that directly address systemic inequalities, empower marginalized communities, and celebrate the magic of our existence. Our work has transformed lives across all 50 states and reached every livable continent, from offering emergency housing through our relocation fund to equipping individuals with passports in response to urgent fears. Garden of Peace consistently steps up where traditional systems fall short. Our Black Trans Mass Fund provides culturally competent financial support, recycling community care to those most in need. Programs like Afrofutures Day Camp, the QTPOC Elder Series, and the Trans Voices Retreat honor our past while shaping a future of resilience, creativity, and connection. This year alone, we prevented eviction for 5 queer and trans families, offered rapid response aid to 23 individuals covering essential needs, relocated 8 families and individuals to safer spaces and states, hosted weekly Trans Voices calls/group chats, and maintained daily support networks. Relaunched our QTPOC Elder Series, uplifting the wisdom of our elders and building multi-generational resiliency. We accomplished this with a 2024 budget of $10,000. In 2024, GPP received $6,267.40 in grant funds, $2,000 in donations. The rest of our budget came directly from the pockets of GPP leadership and mutual aid from our network. Imagine what we can do when we are fully resourced. We are seeking to raise $200,000 in donations and sponsorships. To expand our reach and impact, we need the unwavering support of our allies, partners, and champions like you. Your contribution of $1,000 or more will directly sustain and grow these life-changing initiatives. Every dollar furthers our mission of creating a world where all Black, trans, and queer people thrive, not just survive. Michael David Battle, MPA, Global Executive Director of Garden of Peace, Inc. Mission: Garden of Peace, Inc., GPP, exists to celebrate and elevate the lived experience of trans and queer folks, parents, caretakers, and families, centering Black, Indigenous, people of color, BIPOC, through space-making, art, and leadership development. We exist to create sacred spaces of healing, affirmation, and solidarity through action. We believe in the collective power of our community to dismantle systems of oppression and navigate systems. We exist to create revolutionary spaces of restoration and truth through art, mentorship, and resistance. We center our work on healing the wounds of systemic and structural violence and oppression. We work to dismantle shame and isolation. We have a specific focus on young people, mothers, and caretakers, as we recognize there is no movement for justice without the people who take care of the future. Here are the actual costs of all of our programs and services. Afrofutures Youth Camp, $45,000. Artist Residencies, $50,000. Passport Fund, $35,000. Pay It Forward Fund, $25,000. Relocation and Stabilization Fund, $90,000. QTPOC Elder Series, $10,000. Hashtag Trans Voices, $75,000. Actual total costs, $330,000. The Afrofutures Youth Camp is an out-of-school camp designed to provide safe spaces for children ages 4 to 12 to intentionally meditate, create, learn, and play. First piloted in 2016, GPP is seeking to raise $45,000 to fund Afrofutures Youth Camp 2025. The Afrofutures Day Camp is a daytime and overnight camp program where children respond to and memorialize their environment and experiences and reclaim space through creating public art and community engagement. This camp supports and affirms trans and queer parents, caretakers, trans and queer youth, and their families. Garden of Peace Project recognizes that a supportive family and community network have the potential to be the most effective safety net for trans youth. The Afrofutures Youth Camp saw 85% enrollment on scholarship, and all of the children received free breakfast, lunch, and snacks. For many of the children, it was their first time attending a summer camp. The camp accommodates a diverse spectrum of ages and abilities. This camp also provided training and employment for Black and Black trans youth ages 14 to 24, as junior counselors and counselors. The transformative artist residencies are designed to support artists who work at the intersection of art, healing, and liberation. Artists who use healing practices to articulate liberatory strategies. Artist healers who are intimately aware of the relationship between the personal, the communal, and the global. Garden of Peace is seeking to raise $50,000 for 2 artist residencies in 2025. Our 2025 artist residencies offer housing for 1 to 3 months in Portland, Oregon, a stipend, a material stipend, studio space, mentorship, and support for critical and emerging life needs, such as stable and safe housing. We know that artists, especially Black and Indigenous artists, are critically undersupported when doing their work. We know that these artists are often the front lines of change as activists, as committed members of their communities, and as caretakers, memory keepers, and cultural bearers. We know that instability keeps many of the most marginalized artists from making the work this world so desperately needs. We also know that in times like these, it is when we need our artists, healers, and visionaries the most. But it is in precisely these times when we tend to view artists as frivolous and unnecessary. Garden of Peace knows that we must tend to the most courageous and visionary voices, artists, healers among us, which is why we created the Transformational Artist Residency Program. In response to rising fears following the federal election, our Passport Fund helps trans and queer individuals obtain passports quickly and safely. We currently have the capacity to assist 10 individuals, ensuring that they secure vital documentation before January 20th. This initiative prioritizes access, security, and peace of mind for our communities. We anticipate that this need will only increase, and we seek funding to support 150 trans people and their dependents in quickly accessing passports through 2025. As the political landscape shifts, we envision partnering with legal experts and navigating gender marker and name changes to support trans people in navigating passport applications as well. We are seeking $35,000 for this program in 2025. I'll always be known for reaching out to young people who have no one to help them out. So I help them out with a place to stay, or some food to eat, or some change for their pocket. And they never forget it. A lot of times I've reached my hand out to people in the gay community that just didn't have nobody to help them when they were down and out. Quote by Marsha P. Johnson. Pay It Forward Fund. Launched in 2024, the Pay It Forward Fund began as a microloan pilot with a fully forgivable loan that, if and once repaid, is immediately reinvested into the community. This fund supports trans and queer folks with emergency funds, name changes, and essential resources. Addressing gaps in traditional services, the Pay It Forward Fund is typically an ask of under $200 that makes a critical difference in the health, safety, and well-being of the recipient. This fund is low barrier and community vetted, and responds as soon as the funds are available. The Pay It Forward Fund supports a diverse range of emergent and critical needs such as electric bills, bus passes, groceries, meals, gas, emergency shelter, phone bills, dog food, and more. A portion of the Pay It Forward Fund is devoted to supporting Black trans masculine individuals through Trans Voices, a trans-produced show that has evolved into a year-long workshop and support group for Black trans masculine people. Garden of Peace Project noticed a gap in funding, aid, and community for Black trans masculine folks that led to many of our community members with no idea how to access the care, services, and resources that they needed. As we looked around, we saw that there were, in fact, insufficient resources that specifically communicated to Black trans masculine folks that there was support for them. About 25% of our Pay It Forward Fund is dedicated to the Black trans masculine fund. We are seeking $25,000 in support for this in the gap funding, enough to fund 75 to 200 requests. Relocation Fund. Our Relocation Fund supports trans and queer individuals and families escaping violence or the threat of violence, whether that violence be intimate partner violence or violence from states that are hostile to trans and queer people. We provide emergency housing, vet hosts, connect individuals and families to local resources and welcome teams, and ensure a smooth transition. When necessary and when resources are available, we provide short-term stays at hotels. Each relocation costs $1,500 to $5,000 and may include essentials like food, transportation, clothing, housing, and medical care. We currently manage up to 3 relocations at a time, fostering safety, stability, and community for those in urgent need. QTPOC Elder Series. The QTPOC Elder Series is a program designed to honor, uplift, and share the wisdom of queer and trans people of color, QTPOC elders. It creates an intergenerational space for storytelling, dialogue, connection, allowing our communities to learn from the lived experiences, resilience, and legacies of their elders. The series often includes interviews, panels, and collaborative activities focused on cultural preservation, healing, and building community across generations. Trans Voices. Trans Voices is a multi-layered project at Garden of Peace, Inc. First, we host a free 10-week writing intensive specifically designed for here we have courageous conversations. We choose to sit in our vulnerabilities and bear witness to each other's stories. We challenge ideas around resistance and art, and who has access to create, claim, and reclaim spaces. Most years, but not all, we end this program with a public performance of the works created in workshop. We declare this as a holy and sacred space to fellowship, share, and celebrate the things that we have been told to hate about ourselves. We collectively celebrate our stories, our bodies, and our survival. We celebrate the fact that we are the survivors, all of us. I've been on a journey of self-reflection and searching for what is now the majority of my life. I came home from this experience determined to make sure that those who have loved and supported me feel equally loved and supported. I also realized that I have become more open to the idea of sharing more of myself with new people, something that has always been difficult for me. Brotherhood is required. Sharing space with people of similar experience allowed me to process in a way I wouldn't have done otherwise. I'm so grateful for the experience. I look forward to more. Quote by Anonymous. Participating in Trans Voices was a huge blessing, and I'm so honored to have been a part of it. Michael's prompts of, who were you? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Helped me to think back on my life in the ways I used to imagine myself. Also, what were your dreams? What happened to those dreams? Made it easier to gain access to memories I didn't even know I had. And to have empathy for the person I was as a child and adolescent, going through difficult times, especially in terms of gender identity and mental health. And through contemplation and writing as a Trans Voices participant, I was able to validate my experiences. I was able to humanize myself. Miles Didden, writer, Trans Voices participant. I came because I wanted to be surrounded by people that look like me, that are me. To see a reflection and build confidence I am not alone, that I am never alone. I also wanted to exist in a space where I could focus on being a black man instead of a trans black man, and to build rapport with my fellow brothers. Can't remember who said this, but I absolutely loved it and have been meditating on this. To understand the importance of having relationships and spaces for relaxation and liberation. Also, I loved having a space to exist as a black man with other black men in such a welcoming and positive environment. I felt like I belonged despite being a rather flamboyant gay black man. I never once felt out of place or unwelcomed. So I thank y'all for the affirmations that I too belong. Quote by Anonymous. Honor, mend, explore, thrive, invigorate, lead. We are looking for sustaining donations of $1,000 or more. By investing in Garden of Peace, you're not just supporting programs. You're sustaining of movement. Your generosity will provide vital resources, ensure family safety, and nurture the next generation of leaders. Together, we can dismantle isolation, restore hope, and build a world where healing and justice prevail. Please join us in this mission by making your tax-deductible donation today at www.gardenofpeaceproject.org/donate or contacting us at info@gardenofpeaceproject.org to discuss sponsorship opportunities. Your support ensures that our communities continue to flourish and that no one is left behind. With deep gratitude and in solidarity, Michael David Battle, MPA, Global Executive Director of Garden of Peace, Inc. P.S. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together we create spaces of belonging, hope, and transformation. Visit our newly relaunched website at www.gardenofpeaceproject.org to learn more about our work and impact. Leadership Circle, $100,000 or more. What your support provides. Fully funds a physical and virtual healing sanctuary. What you receive. Name and official logo on website. Gift basket from our artist collective. Garden of Peace swag. Activist Circle, $50,000 or more. What your support provides. Hire a paid staff member and 2 paid interns, or relocates 13 to 26 families, or a sanctuary home and 2 artist retreats. What you receive. Name and official logo on all signage and website. Gift basket from our artist collective, Garden of Peace swag. Gold Circle, $25,000 or more. What your support provides. Partially funds a year of the Afrofutures Youth Camp, or funds 8 to 16 families relocations, or funds 1 artist residency. What you receive. Name and official logo on all signage and website. Gift basket from our artist collective, Garden of Peace swag. Partner Circle, $10,000 or more. What your support provides. Partially funds 1 of our programs. Organization website plus management. What you receive. Name and official logo on website. Gift basket from our artist collective. Friend Circle, $5,000 or more. What your support provides. Relocation of 2 to 4 families, or a community retreat, or 15 passports and 20 grocery gift cards. What you receive. Name and official logo on all signage and website. Gift basket from our artist collective. Ally Circle, $1,000 or more. What your support provides. A week of housing, transportation, and food for 1 family, or a week's worth of food for 5 families. What you receive. A name and official logo on website, a gift basket from our artist collective. In kind. In kind needs. Amazon gift cards for clothes, shoes, toiletries, food, Instacart if available, housing, hotel and Airbnb, transportation, bus passes, ride shares, gas, etc., materials and supplies. What you receive. Name and official logo on website. To have an immediate impact today, we encourage you to give a one-time gift through our PayPal QR code below. To become a sustainable monthly, quarterly, or annual donor, we encourage you to donate through our Flip Cause QR code below. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of our journey. Have a great day.